Okay, brothers and sisters, so let us start our class. 3 set of bells as usual. So relax the body and take a few breaths to move the body and your mind. Okay, so dear brother and sister, so how's everybody? I haven't teach for a while. I haven't been with the Tuesday night class for I think it's almost 2 months. So nobody missed me, huh? Right. That's okay. But I still have some time to do other things. So you have been with Lama Dachi, Campbell, Dachi, Toten for almost 2 months, right? So his teachings will benefit all of you and give you more different aspects of the teachings. You know, each teacher they have different way of teachings, and it depends on how they was trained, they was. You know, because even the same taste, all practitioner will end up in the ocean and will have the same taste. Doesn't matter what aspects of the teachings. It doesn't matter who's teaching it, but all will end up at the same taste. And what is that taste? I have tell you many times. All the Buddhist teachings, all the Buddha teachings will end up the same one taste. So what is that taste? You have to remember this. Otherwise, if you don't have this in your heart and embody it in your body, in your mind, you will deviate your path. So there's this essential point that you have to remember to come down to that point. It doesn't matter how many rivers in the world. All the rivers have to go to the ocean, right? Mm-hmm. Is it Amazon River, or Ganges River, or Colorado all have to end up at the ocean. So it doesn't matter what practice you do, you have to end up at that point. Otherwise, if you don't end up at that point, you lost your practice. And your practice is a waste, to me, according to me. So it doesn't matter you study Tibetan Buddhism, Theravada Buddhism, Mahayana Buddhism, or whatever teachings, but if you don't end up at taste at the ocean, then you just go around and just like spiritual shopping. So you have to tell me what taste that will end up, because when you tell me, then you remember. Right? But I just tell you the same thing. When you you memorize, you're taking a test, then you remember. But the teacher, that's why we're taking tests. When you go to school, you're taking tests is to encourage you to put that, digest that, what you learn in your, so that you become like your memory or something that is really hunting you, so that you never forget. To be a, so the same thing, that is why are we taking tests? You know, is there's no purpose of taking tests without like testing your memory, what you remember, and then when you remember that, then you can apply into, after you graduate in your field, then you can apply that what you learn to generate your income. Right? That's what it is. The purpose of going to school is to make some income to secure your life, right? So the purpose of the practice is what?
Liberation, letting go.
Yeah, liberation, freedom. Freedom. To free yourself from all the samsara, from the samsara world. You have to remember that. It doesn't matter whether you are sitting in meditation, whether you're reciting the name of the Buddha, you do the prostration, is to liberate yourself, to immerse yourself from all the suffering, so that you'll freely flow on the ocean of liberation. So you have to remember that. It doesn't matter what kind of practice you do, is to liberate yourself from all the affliction, from all the samsara. It doesn't matter what teacher teaches, what kind of sutra, Lotus Sutra, Nirvana Sutra. There's all kinds of oceans. The teaching of the Buddha is the ocean of the Dharma. Is the main purpose of the Dharma is to liberate yourself, to emancipate sentient beings to the soul of freedom. To the soul of freedom. So remember that. That's the point to remember. So after you study for many years and you continue to get very easy to get mad, very easy to upset, very easy to blame, very easy to name this, then you are the same person. You start 30 years ago, but you are at the same spot, and then I mean you waste 30 years of study. You waste 30 years of study. You waste 13 years coming here. So that's why we have different teachers here. For myself, I don't limit. It doesn't matter what tradition. We have Theravada tradition. We have Tibetan. We have different kind of teachers coming here to teach. So you can taste, just like all the teachers is like food. Different food you taste. Variety of foods. You go to different restaurants. They offer you different dishes. And the main thing is to sustain your health. Right? And study from different teachers, so you can see different aspects of the teachings. So it's more open your mind up. You don't imprison yourself by one teacher, by one tradition. And sometimes we study and we get stuck in tradition, and that's happened a lot. Like lineage. So in Vietnam we have so many different lineage, Pure Land, Zen. So many different lineages and many different traditions. And then sometimes we get caught for one tradition. And you think that one tradition is better than another. And I mean, what did you get caught? In what? If you say that one tradition is better, then what kind of things you get caught?
Limited view.
Yeah, you get caught in view already. You get caught in view already. But the purpose of study is to liberate your view. To liberate your view, it doesn't matter.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Do you know Tenzin Lunggal Rinpoche?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know him?
No.
He's Tibetan Bun,
Mm-hmm.
from Tibetan.
Mm-hmm.
And they are, he's putting together leaders from the different lineages to have conversations. And there's supposed to be, I don't know whether we'll be able to access it. I'm sure we will at some point through Ligmincha or, I don't know if they're going to put it on YouTube, but they're going to write a book. And that's basically what he's up to, is that to listen to the different
lineage holder. So when you can see that, if you can see when different lineage holder come together, and you can see, and when they share, and you can see the degree of liberation of each individual, the openness of each leader, because they have to transform, they have to go beyond lineage. You have to. If you get caught in lineage, you really get caught in the teaching, the view already. And I think if any person are a lineage holder, they shouldn't have that narrow mind. And I see that. I study with Thay Tinh is a different lineage from my Zen lineage, and I study with Pure Land. And I study with Tibetan Buddhism. It doesn't matter. I think the important thing is how can we come together and liberate all this view. And that's why that's why we call middle path, or the Eightfold Path. The first thing is view, right? Right view. Right view. I mean, is when you have right view, you have non-view. You have no view. Right view is mean no view. You just only the essence of view, but you don't caught any view. You don't get caught any view. And so that's why we have to be very skillful in study, because on Thursday I go on to offer on the teachings on middle path. On the Retreat of Awakening, we hold it in here in this time in Austin. Sorry. And that is the backbone of. And when you have right view, you have non-view. That means you have wisdom. The wisdom of non-duality. Non-duality means you don't caught in anything. Even that peaceful. When you meditate, you are very peaceful. You don't hold on that peacefulness. You don't attach to that peacefulness. If you attach to that peacefulness, you still get caught into peaceful bliss. And a lot of time we do that. Mostly you experience that glimpse of peacefulness and you hold on to that. And that's still called wrong view. You have to know that. It's still wrong view. Because there's still attachment. Attachment to the peacefulness. So right view is to liberate all the attachment. Doesn't matter what kind of attachment you attach to. If you have a teacher and you say, "Oh, my teacher the best," you still attach. That's the reason I live privileged. I study with Thay. I know he's good. I can come back anytime, but I don't want to get stuck there. I have to move. But the teaching is still always in me. His teaching, his way of living, his life example still live in me. Just like Dachi, his teacher. When you have a teacher like that, is the teachers of holding the view, but is not holding the view. And when the teacher have that quality, he will produce the best student. He allowed his student to move on, and not to. As long as the student that live the teachings. That's important. Just like you have children, and your children is beautiful, your children is very disciplined, and you say, "Oh, you just stay with me all the time. You shouldn't move on." Just like Sophia said, "You have to stay with me." Then they cannot grow, and you go again to teaching of impermanence. You don't understand the teaching impermanence. You have to let them go, let them grow. Let them be the best of who they are. Just let them. So that's why, you have a family, and then when you have children, and children when they was young, they were just like, they still with you, be with you, around you, learn from you, to learn from you. They around you is to learn from you. And just like student, when we are, when I was with my teacher for 9 years, I stayed with him for 9 years, just around him to study, to pick up what I need to pick up. And then after 9 years, I have to move on to different center. And then the different center, move to Plum Village a couple years, and move to Vietnam, still go to Vietnam, and just move on, continue the teaching, like that. So you have to liberate your view and liberate the people around you too, And when you understand that, you have freedom. You have freedom. And then you have freedom, and you understand the law of impermanence. That's change. The law of change. The law of change always change. Life is a flow. Life cannot be stagnant. Cannot be stay in one place. So freedom is the most precious value in life, right? Freedom, liberation, emancipation is the precious value that we have in our life. You walk freely in life. That's why we do walk meditation, to walk freely. Is to learn to walk freely. So walking meditation is part of how to walk life freely in ourselves. Because a lot of time we walk, and a lot of anxiety in our hearts, right? A lot of worry, a lot of anxiety. And we walk like some hungry ghost chasing us. A lot of time like that. When we have worry, and that worry is like ghost, it's chasing you. Anxiety, it's chasing you. You have no freedom when you walk. Ghost here is mean not something external, but it's internal. That anything is that obstacle your freedom is ghost. It's Mara. We call ghost or Mara. Because it always make you unease, not at ease in yourself. So walk freely in life. And that freedom is the essence of your life. Freedom. You free yourself, all the things around you. And when you're able to walk freely in your life, whenever you stand firmly in your life. Wherever you are firmly stand in your life. Firmly stand, solidly stand in your life. Firmly and solidly, but not rigidly. Sometimes we identify the quality of firmly, solidly, not rigid. Rigid is different. You become very stiff. You become very still. Firmly, that means you have the confidence that are in you. The confidence in your life. You have the confidence in your life. So whatever you do, you have to have confidence. You have trust in your capability. Yesterday I was driving some other practitioner, step back to Red Rock. And normally they get car sick. If they don't drive, they get car sick. And I was driving and say, "Oh, Thay, you drive very confidently." Yes, you have to be confident in your driving. You have to trust in your capability of driving. And that's what you practice, is to generate that confidence in what your capability of what you're doing. And when you don't have the confidence, you have the trust in your life, you feel very confusing in your life. Distrust of life. And when you don't have inner confidence and trust, inner trust in yourself, you take refuge external material. You identify yourself with what you have, with your clothes, the appearance that you have, the external appearance. That's why we say, "Oh, I have a luxurious car. I have, fancy clothes." When you wear a new clothes, you have a sense of that. Mm-hmm. You say, "I'm more beautiful. I'm more handsome." And when you get a haircut, beautiful haircut, you say, "Oh, I look different." When I was young, I have that kind of feeling when I have, beautiful haircuts. I say, "Oh, I look different." Right? And you have a little bit more confidence when you feel yourself. Your appearance look more attractive. If you don't have that internal attractive. So that's why we have so many different pair of clothes. You look at your closets and you can feel it. You can see it. That's why. Deeply, deeply. You have 1,000 people have. Someone that I know, they have so many clothes. The actors have different clothes every time. If you wear the same clothes every time, people feel like, people feel very fear. Other people criticize. Criticism. That person is very poor or something, somehow like that. So people judge people based on the appearance most of the time. We judge people based on their appearance outside, their external. Just a lot of time we are judging people based on the external appearance, what they have externally. But a lot of time we don't see their inner characteristics. How do you feel it? Unless you are a good practitioner, and that's why we have a big house, luxurious car, fancy clothes, so people can judge us based on that, and then we identify ourselves based on that. So the practice is to invite you to come back and to see firmly, internal, what is happening in your mind, in your body, how at ease you are in yourself, how confident you are internally. And when you have this quality, you will overcome your depressive mood. And nowadays, why are a lot of young people have a lot of depressive life? In the Vietnamese small Vietnamese community, at least I know 4 or 5 young people are depressing. Because they cannot get in touch with the internal qualities, quality. Even we practice a long time, we still have that depressive mood in ourselves. So then you have to ask yourself a question on your practice. So on this Vietnamese retreat, we have one young man who come from other state, and he came for the retreat. And in the middle of the retreat, he got a very severe depressive mood, and all he do is he just want to run away. he told me he just really wanted, nothing can help him. Even we have good teacher, we have practice, but he's not able to overcome his depressive mood. He constantly say, I just want to kill myself, and I just to run away. Everybody. He very afraid of the crowd. That's why when he come to the big crowd, this kind of fear trigger him. And he said he's not happened many times already. He several other retreats the same thing. Whenever he come into the big crowd, there's a lot of fear, anxiety. And then in the other retreat, in the mid of the retreat, and he drive home. And this retreat he done the same thing. And it was lucky that I was sitting in the talk, but somehow that I don't feel at ease in myself. Something is happening around. So I take off. I walk out, and I walk around the temple and see what's happening. So I walk up to the statue, and I see he was crying by himself. And I say, what's wrong? And he said, I feel very sad in myself. I don't know why. And I just want to run. I would just want to take a car and run. If I have a gun right now, I will kill, and I will end my life. And that would be, I'm nothing. I just want you have the gun, I will kill myself instantly, and everything is solved. That's what he's telling me. And I say, no, cannot. If you make that decision, you will hurt yourself. You hurt everybody, because we are in the retreat. And you see, you come here to cope with that, to make yourself, to change yourself. So nowadays we have society, we have a lot of materials, everything. He have a good job, he just buy a new car. The car he called use battery and use both. What is it called? Prius, yeah, beautiful. He just bought it. He have a job, good job too. But doesn't he say, I find no meaning in my car, in my job, in my life? So that means he lacking the inner quality, the confidence in himself. He find no meaning in himself. So it doesn't mean we have everything. It doesn't mean that you are confident in yourself. If you have everything, it's like the Caesar or Amazon. If he have a good wife, beautiful wife, cancer bee, yeah, he still divorced. A lot of money, right? Doesn't mean that you have peace in yourself, have confidence, have cozy heart, right? So it's telling us that. So when you come to practice, is to generate this kind of energies in yourself. So you're able to feel the solidity, the inner solidity in yourself. Every step that you take is a step of solidity, a step of firmness. So you're able to sit still, you're able to stand, but you feel that firmness in your feet, in your heart. And when you sit, you're able to sit stillness, still. So even when we sit, but our sit is not really able to be stillness. We're not able to be in stillness. So when you come to the teachings of the Buddha, you not ask the Buddha, to give it to you. You have to do it for yourself. You cannot ask for the Buddha. This kind of quality you have to generate for yourself. The teaching of the Buddha is the means to carry to the soul. It's not the ultimate truth yet. The teaching of the Buddha is just the meaning. It's the mean. It's the draft, the boat that carry you. But you have to do the paddle. You have to paddle yourself. Right? So there is a story of a Zen student in China. And then one day he was he come to study, and he was and mostly he don't come to the meditation hall. He just do the work in the kitchen for many months, many years. But when the teachings, just like the kitchen over here, the Buddha over here, and the Buddha hall, and next to the kitchen like that. And when the teacher give the teaching, and he overheard the teaching from the teacher, but he able to permeate the digest the teaching. So one day the teacher come to the kitchen and say, "What are you doing in the kitchen?" And I say, I didn't do anything. I just able to. He do everything, pound the rice, cook the rice, and do everything. But he said, I didn't do anything. And when he pound the rice, he making the from the what you call in Eastern, in Vietnam, China, they have rice, and you have to peel off the husk. Husk, yeah, that's what they do. And the teacher asked, did the rice get husk ripening yet? And they say, it's been for a long time. The rice already take all the husk for a long time. It's waiting for the teacher to confirm. And the teacher didn't say anything. And he just not on this like this 3 times. 3 times, not on the husk. And the student know exactly what the teacher want. And he said that, and then at 3 o'clock, his 3 times. He said at 3 o'clock, come to my room. And at 3 o'clock, the student come to the teacher's room and say, "What are you doing here at 3 o'clock?" I said, "You tell me you could come here at 3 o'clock." I said, "Okay, that's right." And he transmit him the Diamond Sutra. See, that's it. And give him the rope as the trust, the confidence that